Welcome to this week's edition of the Gridiron Report, where we talk about everything that's going on in the Gridiron 7-on-7 League. Tony, it was great to get back out there after a long hiatus, we had.
3 weeks, man. 3 weeks. Got people want to move on to something new, so we're glad that everybody got back out there, and, it's exciting. It was matchup weekend. We missed week 5 a couple weeks ago. It rained out, so we kind of came back with the same reps and the same script with the schedules, and it was top teams versus top teams. Guys at the bottom trying to see who fits in, and guys in the middle trying to work their way up or drip on the way down, so.
Some big games in 12U this past week, Tony.
Yeah, we've been waiting for, now it's been about 6 weeks, to see the Rising Stars in primetime play. I guess some of the other games we had, though, with Team Lions, they finished 2-0 on the weekend. They're sitting there at third place, a solid third place, but everybody's wanting to see the primetime and Rising Stars. Had 2 games. We started them off first game in the morning. Rising Stars came out, had a big game, got the lead early, and ended up holding on to that one 20-13. And then
Second game,
primetime.
Pulled that one out 22-21 in a very close game.
Yeah, 22-21. You guys should have saw the highlights yesterday. Ton of highlights, a ton of big plays, just
really exciting games.
Yeah, exactly. It was big time.
Some of the best games of the day.
Yeah, for sure. So we started off with a bang with those 12U guys.
In terms of the standings, Tony, we got primetime sitting at 11-2.
Yeah, sitting at the top right now, 11-2. They've lost to the Lions previously, early in the season, and then the other loss they took from the Stars the other day. Got the Rising Stars at 9-2.
You got Team Lions at 7-6.
And then Catholic and Goon Squad runners and the Broncos are just kind of filling it in right there. It's going to be a big deal. We got 2 weeks of league play left, and it goes into the playoffs, so a lot of things can be shook up right there. Of course, we'll see primetime and the Stars play again. Players of the week, guys. We had some guys stand out and make some big plays this week.
Nymir Jackson from the Runners, he threw 4 touchdowns this past week.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns, most thrown by any quarterback in the 12U. Came off the bench, actually, so that was good. He came in poised and helped his team. I think they went 1-1 on the weekend.
Anderson Glover had 2 touchdowns for the Stars. He's our go-getter of the week.
Yeah, Anderson Glover, good game. Those are big matchups. Normally we have guys catch a few more touchdowns, but we had the top 2 teams playing each other, and they play each other well, defensively. Third guy we had, go-getter or ball hawk of the week, Curious Cox.
Yeah, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, only guy in 12U with 2 interceptions.
For the Runners.
Yeah, for the Road Runners.
It's great to see those guys, pick up some hardware.
Yeah.
They've just been in the league for a few weeks now, haven't they?
Yeah, I think this is their third weekend in the league. And, they're picking up a win or 2 here and there each weekend and just getting better. So look forward to those guys making a run as we get rolling. Some of the league leaders that we have going on going into week 6 right now, some of the same names starting to separate a little bit, but it's been fun to watch and got a lot of big stats. So
Brody Sparks, from the Rising Stars. He's thrown 29 touchdowns, through 5 weeks.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, that's a lot of touchdowns.
Colton Faust, he's thrown 27 touchdowns for prime time over the same period.
Mm-hmm. And then Colton Smith, he's sitting there at third right now with 19, and that's third place Team Lions. So, this league kind of shows that the top quarterbacks in the league are going to have the top teams in the league. So, those 3 guys have been ripping it all season. With the go-getters, and your wide receivers had the same 2 names, kind of flip-flopping a little bit to see who's going to be first and second. But, you got Tyson Dorsey and Braylon Robinson. Tyson Dorsey's got 8 touchdowns. Robinson's got 7.
Right there, really.
It's been fun. Those guys are played up in the 15U this past little bit and made some plays also.
In terms of the ball hawks, the top ball hawks in the league, Maynard from the Stars, he has 6 interceptions, and you got Smith and Howard from Goon Squad both rounded it up with 5 interceptions.
Yeah. Didn't see a lot of interceptions this weekend, basically through all the age groups. So that's a good thing, right? The quarterbacks are taking care of the football and getting the teams downfield. So, 12U, big weekend. It was fun.
Can't wait to get back out there and see those guys again this week.
Yeah, week 6 is going to be big.
All right, Tony, let's talk about the Gunslinger Challenge. Big-time atmosphere, Dallas, Texas, AT&T Stadium. Let's tell us about it.
It's a big weekend. We had 75 quarterbacks show up from all over the country, man. It's kind of like we'd have here in Knoxville every year. It was just the different location, stadium.
Venue.
Everything was the same except that. But that's what made the experience, as we build this thing The coaches and the staff members and everybody that helps with this thing, we always talk about experience, and making it one of those things where when they come, they want to come back, and then we just keep adding to it. So this year we added the stadium, we added a new location with that, and it made it exciting. I think from what I've heard from all the kids, all the parents, all the feedback, everybody enjoyed it. They enjoyed their time. It was really competitive. The guys that won this year are some new faces to be the winners. A couple guys that have actually been here multiple times. Overall, I think we had a good time with it. We plan on going back next year, of course. But we want to go ahead and give a shout out to the guys that actually won. We'll start with the youth division. We had a guy named Isaac Liu. He's a 2028 QB from Santa Clara, California. Had a great weekend. The fourth quarter and the finals were huge for him. Came back from being behind and actually came back and won. The middle school guy that actually pulled it out was a 2026 quarterback, Wyatt Brown. He's also from Los Angeles, California, so 2 California guys won. Wyatt had a great weekend, really finished off strong in the finals. And then the high school guy that won was a guy that's been to the Gunslinger a couple times, actually, Austin Novosad. He's 2023 quarterback, Dripping Springs, Texas. Big-time guy. I hope to see him get a couple offers here soon and progress through his career. Had a lot of fun. Congratulations to those guys. The next thing we got going on, though, is, we got session 2, basically Knoxville, Tennessee, June 11th and 12th. We'll probably have over 100 quarterbacks, guys. It's going to be big. We're actually adding a new feature for our receivers. So if you're a skill guy, got Hilton Alexander coming from Atlanta, Georgia, to come work with you guys, as well as a couple other local guys and guys from out of town. We'll have the same staff we always have, plus a new quarterback faces. So we try to keep adding as much as we can to you guys so that when you come, it's something a little bit new. You can take home a little bit more and, just get after it. If you're ready to come to Knoxville, send your film, hit me on Twitter, Facebook, social media, anything you see me on, and just get it to me, and I'll respond accordingly, and hope to see you in Knoxville here in about 6-8 weeks.
All right, Tony, let's move to 15U. Talk about our 2 divisions in 15U.
All right, so 15U, it's looking good. Betsy Built's been the top team in the league all year, so we bumped Betsy Built up actually to play high school. So this past 2 weekends, they've been getting some high school games, so we'll talk about them a little bit later. So the 2 teams that really made the biggest impact this weekend was Goon Squad. They went 2-0, kind of helped them kind of fit back in the middle of the pack on where they're at. They beat the Cougars in D Block. And then the Patriots, man.
Continue to just keep it going.
Yeah, every week, man. We match them up with somebody.
Every week.
And Lowton Potts, quarterback for that team, they just keep throwing touchdowns, making defensive plays, and making stops. They beat the Smash, which is the #1 team in the other division, 16-8, and then played the Wolfpack and beat them 27-11. So they continue to do what they do. But when it comes to players of the week, a couple of different guys got it this week.
Kai Beasley threw 7 touchdowns for the Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
He's our gunslinger of the week.
Yeah.
Terry Buford, he scored 4 touchdowns for Goon Squad. He's our go-getter of the week.
Yeah.
And Niedendorf, he had 2 interceptions, for D Block, and he's our go-getter of the week. Ball hawk of the week.
Ball hawk of the week. D Block, this is their first weekend in the week during the league. They played, I guess, their first couple games with us in the tournament a few weekends ago, but this was their first league play, so they finished 1-1.
Good to see their guy get an award.
Yeah, absolutely. Get
First week out there.
First weekend.
Let's talk about the standings in both divisions.
All right, so Gunslinger division, sitting at the top, of course, we got Betsy Built sitting at 11-0. The Patriots are kind of separating themselves. They're 8-3. Then, basically just right there in the mix, we got Team Gunslinger and the Cougars kind of battling for third at 6-4 and 6-7. Then we got 865 Elite and D Block that just added. We moved them into that Gunslinger division.
In this other division, we have Smash, 6-4. We have Mojo, that's 5-5. We have the Wolfpack, that's 4-6, and we have Goon Squad, that's 4-6. The Rebels, 5-8, and we have the Stars, Rising Stars, when they come up and play in 15U, they're 1-5.
Yeah, I think they got their first win this weekend, actually, in the 15U age division. So congratulations to those guys. It's kind of fun because we saw those guys get their first win 2 or 3 years ago, playing as like 9-year-olds in the 12U division. So always fun watching that little group. Rebels sitting at 5-8, really in the percentages. Of course, they're down in the bottom, but they're still one of the top teams. Good thing about this year, 15U and in all divisions, really, there's good competition.
Yeah,
we're sitting
really
here looking at 3, 4, 5, 7 teams that have a chance to be right there at the top.
Right.
So, looking forward to it. Statistically, still got some of the same big names.
Yeah, we got, for Betsy-Bill, we got Maupin. He's still leading the quarterbacks with 32 touchdowns.
And that was without playing this weekend, so that's pretty impressive, getting
Yeah,
15
you got
stats.
Smith Williams for Smash. He's thrown 24 touchdowns. Hensley from the Cougars has thrown 24 touchdowns. And Kai Beasley from the Rebels has thrown 23 touchdowns.
Yeah, so pretty close little deal right there. Second, third, and fourth, is within 1 touchdown. The receivers, basically all these guys are like this. So we got Jeriah Griffin, you got Torrey Beaufort, and Baird from the Cougars. Griffin and Beaufort have 12 each. Baird just moved his way up. I think he had 3 or 4 touchdowns this weekend.
Touchdowns.
So now he's got 10. So that's Betsy, Goon Squad, and Cougars, 3 teams represented there. And then there's only one guy to talk about on defense, Nathaniel Thomas.
Top
every
ball
week,
hog.
Man, dude's got a pick every week. I'd get out there and probably throw a pick at him. But he's got 8 interceptions with the Rebels, and then everybody else is where everybody else is, right behind him.
Great week in 15U.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Tony, let's talk about our high school division. A couple of teams stood out this past weekend.
Yeah, it's really a lot of the same teams that continue to do it. We got a pretty good sized league this year in the high school division, so we finally got it where everybody's played everybody once. A couple teams have played everybody twice. So the teams that kind of put it all together this weekend, Wolfpack, coming from Chattanooga, they went 2-1. They actually beat Gibbs and East Tennessee Drip, 2 of the top teams in our league, and they lost to the Admirals, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes. The other team that really did really well, that actually won our tournament a few weeks back, Legacy Elite, they finished 2-0. They beat TNGS and E10 Brigade this past weekend. Then, the Cougars, continue to be a team that, each and every year come in and do pretty well. They're 2-0 right now. They beat Venom in a 21-20 shootout, and they beat the Dragons this past weekend. Also, the Admirals, which are the team that seems to be, last year we talked about them at the beginning of the season in the 15U age group. They were the team to beat, and they moved up to the high school division and came back at it. And they missed the tournament this past weekend. So they came into this weekend, beat Team Venom and the Wolfpack, finished 2-0 again. They're sitting right there on top of everything. And
let's talk a little bit about Betsy.
Yeah, probably the surprise of the weekend, I guess, for most people, but not them, I suppose. Betsy Built came in, and last week they played 1 high school game, I believe, but this week we put them in 2 high school games. They finished 2-0. So right now they're sitting as the only undefeated team in the league.
13-0.
13-0, 2-0 in the high school division. 11-0 in the 15U division. So we'll continue to try to give them a challenge and see what they can do this upcoming weekend.
Let's talk about the guys who stood out this past weekend in the high school division, Tony. At quarterback, you got Isaiah Hall from Venom. He threw 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's our gunslinger of the week.
Yeah.
You got Blake Overton, who caught 3 touchdowns from Venom as well. He's our go-getter of the week.
Yep.
And Brooks Crowder with 2 interceptions from Seymour. He's our ball hawk of the week.
Yeah. A lot of good athletes, good players this week. A lot of plays made. Team Venom seems to be one of those teams that's kind of turned it around a little bit and just kind of putting the gas on it. But Seymour, it's good to see those guys, at least get a guy that made a couple plays, 2 interceptions, the only guy in the league that had 2 interceptions. And we continue to say it, this week, the quarterbacks just took care of the ball a lot better this weekend, man. And so continue to look forward. We got 2 more weekends for those guys. Next thing we got
the standings, Tony. Let's talk about the standings in both divisions.
The standings are starting to shake out pretty well. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got the Admirals at 8-2. You got Venom at 8-6. Mm-hmm. You got Team Lions at 7-4. You got Drip at 5-5. You got the Wolfpack at 3-2. You got TNGS at 4-9. Gym City at 4-7, and Seymour at 1-12.
Yeah, absolutely. Lions, it's kind of cool to see them sitting there at third because they got the 12U group that's sitting at third also. So they got, a program that's, got 2 quality teams. Admiral sitting right there at the top. Venom, we're going to see those guys play again here soon, probably next week. But in the Gridiron division, it's kind of held its own, kind of the same top teams in there. We got the Wolfpack sitting at 6-2. We got Cougars and Legacy Elite both sitting there at 9-4, but the Cougars have the heads up. They've actually played twice, and the Cougars have won both games. Then you got Gibbs and the Dragons sitting there fighting for 4th and 5th at 7-4 and 6-7. Betsy's moved on up to 2-0, and then we got E10 and the Tribe sitting there at the back of the bus. So
let's talk about the guys who lead the high school division overall statistically.
Yeah, so gunslingers, quarterback-wise, we got 2 guys that have separated themselves a little bit statistically. We got Hunter White sitting at 39.
39 touchdowns.
Yeah, 39 touchdowns, about to hit 40. Then we got Venom's Isaiah Hall with 30. When we got the gunslingers, those are the gunslingers, but our go-getters, I guess it's pretty much every good quarterback has a good receiver. So Hunter White's been throwing to Jones. He's got 18 touchdowns. That's 5 more than anybody else. We got Lee from the Dragons sitting at 13. Then you got Long, Isaac Long. That's a guy that he's been consistently good. Now he's worked his way up into the stats. He's 3rd in receiving. Big body, good hands.
Hard to check.
He's hard to guard. You can't get physical with that guy. And then you got Roberts sitting there with the Lions at 10.
Jake Roberts, Elizabeth.
Yeah, Jake Roberts. Okay, yeah.
In terms of our ball hawks, you got Shepard for the Admirals. He has 4 interceptions, and you got Denton from Overton from Venom with 4 interceptions. Blake, really making a name for himself this year in the league. There was a lot of action in our high school division this past week as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Great competition. Look forward to it. We got 2 more big weeks. Let's get after it.